Isaac Newton. Who is Isaac Newton? A lonely little boy from an ordinary farming family, Isaac grew up to become the greatest mathematician of his generation. Isaac Newton is famous for discovering the laws of gravity, for splitting white light into the colours of the rainbow, and for his three laws of motion. Though civil war was raging in England, the little village of Woolsthorpe in Lincolnshire remained a quiet, sleepy place. In January 1643, a tiny baby was born there, much earlier than expected. He was so small and frail that he wasn't expected to live longer than a day, and he had already lost his father, who died 3 months before he was born. His mother, Hannah Ashgar, waited a week before having him baptized Isaac. When Isaac was 3, his mother had to leave him with his grandparents to get married again to a wealthy vicar called Barnabas Smith, who didn't want a stepchild around. Being left behind in the way had a deep effect on Isaac, and he hated his stepfather because of it. He once threatened to burn down the house over his head. Isaac's stepfather died in 1653, but Isaac went to live in an apothecary, someone who prepared and sold medicines, called clerk, so he could attend a grammar school in Grantham. He learned to read Latin here, but his school report said he was lazy and didn't pay much attention. Many stories were told about Isaac at school, though that he flew kites light with candle lanterns at night. He made models of sundials, mouse-operated mills, and even an early go-kart. His mother tried to make him out of school to look after the family land, but Isaac hated farming, and his uncle and head teacher persuaded Hannah that he should go back to school and then on to university. When Isaac started studying colour and the rainbow, he delivered it into 5 colours at first, but he added orange and indigo later because it is the ancient Greek mathematician Pythagoras had said that 7 was a number. The Year of Wonders for Isaac. Isaac went to the University of Cambridge as a subizar, someone who worked as well as studying in order to pay some of his fees. He began by studying law, but he soon began teaching himself mathematics. He was also interested in optics, the behaviour of light, and astronomy, the study of stars, planets, and other objects in the universe. After Cambridge University was closed by the plague, Isaac had to return home, but he didn't give up his studies or his experiments. Between 1665 and 1667, also known as his Year of Wonders, he developed the theory of uniform circular motion, the way a planet moves when it orbits a star, or the way the hands of a watch go round, and he discovered calculus of kind of maths that helps us calculate answers from numbers that are continually changing. Isaac loved telling the story to his friends of how, as a young student, he saw an apple fall from a tree in the orchard and wondered why apples always fall straight down rather than in different directions. The observation led him to develop his law of universal gravitation, or gravity. In 1669, Isaac became the first person in the world to build a reflecting telescope. When he went back to Cambridge in 1667, he was made a fellow and then 2 years later professor of mathematics. In 1687, he published his most important book, The Principia, which contained his 3 laws of motion, describing how an object can be expected to move when different forces act on it, as well as his theory of gravity. The Principia had a huge effect on science and scientific thinking, even though not everyone always accepted or agreed with what Isaac had written. After that, Isaac switched his attention away from science. He became a member of the Parliament, MP. He was appointed Master of the Mint, in charge of improving the quality of the money people used and punishing people who were making fake coins. In 1705, he was made a knight by Queen Anne. Isaac argued with lots of people, especially other scientists like Robert Hooke, who was his rival. He could be very difficult to deal with, but he also acknowledged that he owed a lot to thinkers who came before him. If I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulder of giants. When he died in 1727, at the age of 84, he made countless discoveries that changed how we see the world and how we understand it today. We still measure force in newtons. In the Bible, we also find the word gravity. In all things, shewing thyself a pattern of good works, in doctrine, shewing uncorruptness, gravity, sincerity. Titus 2 verse 7.